Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another scorching episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. I'll be your host, Douglas Smythe, and with me as always today he's down below. We have Scott Ostermiller, the clean shaver of YouTube fame. Say hi, Scott. Scott?
Oh, yeah, sorry. You froze for just a second. I couldn't see.
And then David Gonzalez over to my, lower right, at least on my screen, of So Sharp Limited. Say hi, David.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, my mic is working. And I am very excited today to be able to introduce to you, our viewing audience, the two brains, brilliant minds behind Micky Lee Soapworks. We have Mr. Eric and Mrs. Samantha Lee McDaniels of Micky Lee Soapworks. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone.
And do you notice Eric's dapper style? It's very familiar. You got to dig it. The only problem is mine might be the 99-cent version of his $55 version.
No, it was actually $11.95 on Amazon.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so we're not that far off. You got excellent. Well, welcome to the show, guys. It's so great to have you here. For our viewers out there, what I've been doing for the last few weeks is having a spotlight of vendors that will be participating at the Big Shave West this year. And Micky Lee Soapworks, this will be their first time or first year being there. So we'd like to not only welcome to the show, but also welcome to the Big Shave West, which is going to be with you guys, with us. It's going to be phenomenal. Looking very forward to this. So let us begin. And as we begin most of our shows, we want to know a little bit more about you guys. So we might as well just cut to the chase. And how did it all start for you? I know, Samantha, it was Eric first into the wet shaving world, and then you came after the fact, or?
Yes.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Eric, start us off.
So I got into wet shaving through the Navy, actually, indirectly. There was I was deployed in 2011, and there was a corpsman who picked up wet shaving while we were deployed. So this dude was in the head with 60 other guys trying to shave at 6 a.m. with a straight razor on a boat, rocking back and forth. Neck looked like freaking ground beef every day. And I just I knew that I had to get into it.
But being on a list to pay didn't help much.
Right. No, I'm sure. Well, that's my biggest fear too, because I don't know if you guys knew it or not, but I was trying to put together not the big shave, but a wet shaving cruise I've been wanting to do. And everyone's always like, yeah, about shaving on the water, there's a few things you ought to know. Needless to say, it hasn't happened yet, but it's good to hear that is an actual fact that we need to look out for. So being in the Navy, you need to shave. You need to shave daily, sometimes twice a day, right?
Yep, it's an everyday thing.
Okay, so this forced you into that for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily forced into, but when you shave every day, you get sick of using the cartridge stuff, and it hurts. If you're doing it every day, multiple times a day, it gets to the point where your face hurts, and you got to go to something better. No doubt.
And so now you've delved into the wet shaving world. And you picked up a straight razor first, or did you go to safety razor?
No, I started with a safety razor. I do use a straight razor from time to time, but shaving every day, generally, I don't have time to do straight razors often.
Right.
I have never used a straight razor, and I never will. He has never cut himself, but it scares the crap out of me. It scares the crap out of me every time. This whole area, I'm just terrified.
Never say never. For David, nunca digas nunca. Pero, but okay, so you're watching this, Samantha. You're watching him go through all this. And Eric, you're participating in the forums now. You're finding out more about wet shaving, so on and so forth. Samantha's in the back watching. Samantha, now, have you been making body soaps while this was going on? Or
yes. Okay. I have a background in science and math. I was a pre-med. Mm-hmm. And I got into that for more of the chemistry background of it all and trying it out. I had no idea what went into shave soaps when I first started. And as you can tell, most of it is very vegan centric. So to try to do something not vegan was a little bit strange territory. So we went and we found fat. And the first fat we had was the worst. That was before you know what is a good fat and what is a bad fat to use.
It doesn't take that long. It's usually the first batch.
No.
I can't even smell my fragrance oil here.
When it's kind of like a yellowy, pinky color, you don't want to put that on your skin.
Yeah.
So we started with just that and finally found the right fat at a local farmer's market, the Dutch, Pennsylvania farmer's market. Oh, cool. And we got there. Apparently there is a candle maker who uses tallow and usually gets there. I got there first thing in the morning so I could get some of his before he got there to try it out. And we put a picture of just rendered tallow on Reddit. And next thing you know, everyone's offering to try it, and we hadn't even made a soap.
Oh, people love free stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be a sample. Yeah, totally. I'll sample for you. Yeah.
Exactly. And it just came out of nowhere. And by the end of the summer, we had our first soap. We actually have one still wrapped up, and it's hard as rock.
Yes. And it'll be long lasting. I have my very first soap as well, like in my medicine cabinet, and it's so hard. But I know, like 50 years down the road, I'm going to take it and use it, and it'll probably last me another 50 years.
The greatest surprise come in the mail about a week ago. One of our first ever that we sold in a glass jar, a little 4-ounce like ball jar. Yeah. We only had 4 of them, and that was all we sold to get money to buy the next ingredients to make the next soap, and that's how we could afford. And we sold all 4 of them, and one of them came back to us completely steel sealed, unused. He did it. Because we sent him a second one. Because he lived in Canada, and we sent it to someone in San Francisco for him. And then he ended up not getting there in time. So we sent him a replacement. So he had held on to the original this whole time for us. And as a gift back for being so kind to the community, he sent it back to us completely still in its jar, unused. So now we're sad that we didn't have one of our original actual soaps. It was our Drunken Goat. And now we have it.
Oh, there it is.
That's cool.
Nice.
Original Drunken Goat.
The very first Drunken Goat.
Before we even knew really to call it Drunken Goat.
Before you even tried the goat, you called Drunken Goat.
Well, that came up as a name in Reddit. People voted on it.
I first heard Drunken Goat, I thought you were doing a goat cheese. I thought it was goat cheese something when I first read about it, because I used to work in a deli years ago, and Drunken Goat was a popular cheese there. So when I heard it, I didn't know what you guys were up to. But that's really cool. Those jars, those ball jars too. Those, like a lot of soap that's the first jars we use, I think, because they're the easiest to come by.
And they cost so much to send because they're so heavy.
Like, what the hell was I doing? But I used to whip shea butter in those, and that lasted probably about a month before I got hip to that.
It took us forever to catch up on the right jars.
Yeah, that takes a while. No one's talking. Actually, more people are talking nowadays than they were back in the day. No one would share anything with you. Now everyone knows where we're getting our jars from.
Yeah.
But this is really cool. So it all came together rather fast for you guys. I mean, that's the end of 2014?
Yeah, we officially went into business November 2014.
Okay. Now, how's the year been?
It's been great. Yeah, it's the first year was fantastic, much better than we ever could have anticipated.
Yeah. It was huge.
We were like, if we could sell 100 in 3 months, we would have been happy. You never expect that people want that nowadays. Like even in the last year, things have just gotten so much bigger for the hobby itself, and
it's true.
You never expect that, and then it comes out of nowhere, and you're selling out all the time, and people are knocking on your door and emailing you. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it amazing? Like the email, and I'm glad I have some fellow artists and soap makers with me today, because, I just recently, I get these emails, not all the time, but often enough that it's like, and I always have to answer people like, don't come at me guns a-blazing. You're talking to the guy who makes your soap here. Like, you're not talking to some robot or some gatekeeper. You're actually talking to the guy. Because, I mean, some of the angry emails you'll get sometimes for something as simple as just selling out a soap. It's like, I'm sorry. I only have a crock pot here. I can only make so many. But the anger that comes out of people sometimes. You guys get those emails too?
All the time.
Yeah.
And it's it really is 95% of it. She does. I'm at work all day long, so she's running the show all by herself.
God bless you.
When it comes to Micky Lee Soapworks, it's a company of 1 1/4 people.
And I try to do everything. I don't know if you guys can hear. So every once in a while, our youngest one, who's almost 4, he really wants to be in here, but all he wants to do is jump and be in front of the camera. So his older brother's keeping him at bay. So he keeps coming and begging, but he rearranges things sometimes. So we've just given him the job as messenger bunny. So we have him take the packed boxes to the room that we label everything, and he thinks that's his job.
That's
and
great.
he knows all the scents. He knows all of them, but he'll open them and act like he knows. And he's like, "This one smells like glycerin," and he goes, "Yeah, that's Drunken Goat." And he goes, "Oh, I think this one's got tallow in it." And he'll just say stuff, whatever he can. And he has his own shaving stuff. He's got his own little mixing kit.
Yeah, the Fisher Price kit. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah, very cool.
My boy has one of those and loves it.
Yeah, those are blowing up right now.
Yeah.
I guess there was Lynn Abrams was passing them out one year with a
Father's Day kit.
Yeah, for the Father's Day kit, and they blew up. But it's been great. I've seen you guys. You've been in a couple meetups as well this year. I met you originally in the Boston meetup, but you were at the New York one as well, right?
Yes. We were.
How's that getting out there and meeting people? What's that like for you?
That was great. It's all the meetups are really fun. So when we first started getting invited to them, we weren't sure if we wanted to participate. But now that we've gone to a couple of them, they're great. They're so much fun. It's cool to get out and actually connect with people. Normally you don't get the opportunity to do that.
No, I agree. And you guys really took it in stride too. You had like the whole family there when I met you.
Yeah, we gotta travel with the entourage.
Yeah, it was great. They were all conniving little ones. They all had their tickets too. Sending each one up there at a time. Yeah, clever guys.
To win, yeah.
You guys got anything new coming out?
I'm sorry?
You have anything new coming out?
No, not right now. Actually, we're in this really weird.
Oh, right.
I don't even know how to explain it right now.
So I'm expecting to get transfer orders soon through the Navy. That's my day job. I'm in the Navy for everybody who doesn't know.
Welcome back to California, baby. Welcome back to California.
We're trying real hard. So right now we're not committing to doing anything new until we know where we're going to end up in a few months.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
So I got passed up in February. So I'm looking again in March. We're trying to get back to San Diego. Once we get somewhere stable, we're going to start trying to turn out some new stuff.
Very cool. Well, I've noticed you guys, the last 6 months, you have been dropping some new stuff, like the pomades and whatnot, and the aftershaves. I didn't know you guys were doing a water-based pomade until today, actually. I'm sad to say. How long have you been doing that for? The water-based one?
Probably about 4 months.
I think we released them in December. I want to say we put them out in December.
Okay, that's right when my life started getting busy, so I fell out of off the scene for a second. But yeah, very cool. It's great that you offer both wax and water-based pomades. A lot of people don't; they either choose one or the other. So bravo to that.
Thank you,
Scott, David. Any questions from you guys?
Yes. Hang on.
I don't even see Scott. I just see a black square.
Somebody just asked if somebody's asking if there's going to be MLS dildos. No, not yet. We're working on those though.
That's pretty impressive. That's nice. I'll ask who's going to be the model.
Hey, so if there's going to be an MLS dildo, it's going to be a soap that's modeled after my own junk. So keep that in mind when you place an order, Davey. You're in for a wild ride.
I'm not buying that one.
That's a confident man right there.
Oh, I feel like it's getting hot in here, but that could be just me.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Oh no! In my gym, we're doing a weight loss contest, and whoever wins gets $500.
I saw that. You posted about that.
Yes. So I'm almost 2 weeks in, and I've been low carbing it up. So I had a hell of a day today. So wine today. So
good. Well, this is the show. We encourage that.
Yeah, she's halfway into her glass, and I think she's half drunk already.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight.
Right on. I respect that. Scott, what you got?
So I'm always curious. I mean, some of the soaps that you have are obviously Navy themed, like the Kraken. And do you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Scott.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Look at this. Mitchell Crane just joined.
Oh my gosh.
That's so this dude that just joined, the welcomes are all rolling through here.
Derp.
He was a guy, junior sailor that I worked with out in Bahrain. So that's going to be fun.
We got him into wet shaving.
Oh, very cool.
And then while we were still over here, when he got out, he threatened to go home to his parents' house and have them adopt him. And sure enough, he went and knocked on their door, and he took pictures in his car, in his house, like in front of the fireplace with the whole rest of the family holding his dog, and sent all the pictures back to us when we were in Bahrain.
That is so creepy.
That's funny.
And awesome. Right. Scott, what you got?
My question is just, obviously you all have a kind of a Navy theme to your. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Stop doing that, Scott.
Sorry. No, Samantha saying that they're asking if you can hear me.
Are we the only ones that can't hear?
So I can't hear Scott. No.
I don't even see him.
Yeah, I can hear you as loud and clear, Scott. You're screaming and shit. Yes, I can hear you.
I'm not trying to scream.
Yeah, no, we can't see Scott at all.
Or hear him.
Okay, somebody translate my question.
What Scott is asking, okay? Scott, go ahead.
No. So all of your soaps have a Navy theme.
He's
How
noticed
are you
that
coming
a
up
lot
with
of your
names?
soaps are Navy themed. And what else, Scott?
What's your biggest influence on scents and names for those soaps?
What's your biggest influence when it comes to scents and naming your soaps?
So we don't have anything that's Navy themed actually. Our influence, we just kind of make it up as we go. We don't really have a specific vein that we follow. I'm thinking
have you ever tried Micky soaps?
Well, no,
I think you might be getting us confused with Reef Point or Soap Commander. Both of them are former Navy.
Well, I'm thinking
Panty Dropper. That's pretty
Dropper.
Navy themed, I guess.
The Kraken.
Right?
Oh, someone just asked, "Will Soup?"
The Kraken. See, the Kraken to me, I think of the mythological octopus. I don't think Navy. I think of like
It's
Burns.
Nautical. Sorry, not necessarily.
Yeah, so
nautical.
Nautical. Okay, well, so Kraken. Kraken's an aquatic. We just didn't want to give it some boring name. We're just trying to have fun with it. And that's really what we just try to do with all of them. We just think of, what does this smell like? What's the theme that we're going for? And we just choose a name from there. There's really no deep process to it.
We like to try to put a little bit of effort, though. I see that you do the same, and you name your soap something catchy. You want to have fun with it. With so many artisans nowadays, to at least put some sort of effort behind it, not just name whatever the fragrance you came right off the bottle. It helps.
Yeah.
And, with so many of us, we try to vie for that attention, too. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of soap makers, well, not so many nowadays, but back in the day, everything would be great right up until the sales page. The description was just like, bum, bum, bum. It's like, you put so much energy into all of this, except you can get to the sales page. It's just like, you gave me nothing there, but no, it's good to see you guys, you're all around. You get the whole package deal when it comes to Micky Soapworks, and I commend you guys on that.
Thank you very much.
Scott, anything else that I can be the conduit for?
I'll pass it on to you guys since I'm having trouble with it.
David, what you got?
Well, just a little recommendation for Scott. Scott, you may want to maybe just get off and then get back on, just for the sake of maybe.
I'll try refreshing the page.
Yeah, because I did that right now. Everybody was like a blacked out square for me, and now it's a little laggy, but it's functioning at least. Thank God.
Okay. I'll try it.
Okay. Just one question that I have is, once you come into the Big Shave West, is there anything special you have planned for that event? Are you coming as an actual vendor, or is there going to be a bigger role for you there? You're just going to show up and shake some hands and kiss some babies?
Oh, I see you now.
Oh, hey, Scott.
Hi, guys. I'm back.
So,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you're just fine.
All right. Yay.
So yeah, we're planning on coming as vendors. We're not 100% certain we're going to be there yet. It's up in the air with everything else. I'd put us at 90% right now. We're going to come as a vendor. We're going to shake hands. We're going to kiss babies. What we're doing, we're bringing free samples, soap, aftershave, something like that.
We might be debuting our new summer spring scent. So
very cool.
Kind of exciting.
Any teasers for us right now?
Well, one of them is one we're bringing back, and it is a peach and pistachio scent. It sounds really interesting. It's called La Belle. It's very girly, but it seems like a lot of guys like it. Yeah. And people have been asking for it. Initially, it wasn't a good seller, and then we brought it back for a little bit, and then it sold out. But we didn't want to leave it for too long. And it's very fruity, so you don't really want it in fall and winter anyways.
Right.
And people have been asking for it, so we decided we'll bring it back. And we are still not 100% certain, but we're leaning towards a very green scent, something kind of fresh. Excellent. We haven't done anything quite like that yet. We usually stick with foodie or aquatic or dirty, so we're trying something new.
And if in any future scents coming out, or do you plan on having a matching aftershave, or have you discovered that just some scents don't work in an aftershave? Because I know I've had discussions with Douglas, and some of his scents, he said that they just don't always carry over to a soap as well as the aftershave and vice versa.
Yeah, there's some scents that just don't work in aftershave. We're trying to do matching aftershaves for everything, but our aftershaves also take 6 weeks to make. So we actually take all the raw botanicals and we steep the alcohol in them for 6 weeks. So it takes a lot of planning for us to hit the right timing for soap and aftershave combos.
But we're trying to. I think the hardest one for us, the one that everyone kept asking for, is Drunken Goat, because half of the scent comes from Guinness and goat milk, and those are two things you don't really want to be rubbing all over your face. Well, not everybody.
Don't judge.
So we tried to come with something very complimentary. It's not exact, and luckily we haven't had anyone complain about that, and we let everyone know ahead of time. But I think we might be doing Labelle in an aftershave. I'm still not quite certain because I feel like that might be a little too fruity, but there are plenty of girls who still use aftershave. So
I should consider for that particular scent, maybe even making it like a balm or something more of a moisturizer, that those of us that don't want to maybe use it for an actual aftershave product can still use it as a hand moisturizer or so on and so forth.
Yeah, we've got a balm that we're slowly rolling out. We've got it in 2 scents right now. We've got it in Kraken and Grand Havana, but we're eventually, probably end of April, trying to have it available in matching all of our current scents, which are our year-round options. So distinct possibility that we'll do it in a balm, especially since balms are more popular with the female base, and this is a more feminine scent.
True. Although I think this might be the year of the balm. David, you were asking recently what I thought this year we'd see more of. I think balms we're going to be seeing more of.
See, I like the concept. I like the concept of a balm, dude. But just my skin is so oily naturally. I really struggle with it. I honestly feel like my face is weighed down using a balm. So even though like on rare occasion I enjoy using like a soap commander balm, just generally speaking, it's just hard for me. Like maybe sometimes if I'm like coaching and my face gets a little beat up and you know, real sun dried and just real beat up by the sun, I could pull it off. But just on a general basis, I can't do it. So it's hard for me.
Well, see, and I have oily skin too, but I also live in a much drier climate. And so, you know, high mountain desert kind of a place, the balm works really well for me.
Yeah, I like it in the winter time. Well, when I was living in New England, I enjoyed it more in the winter than the summer because you can actually feel the weight of it on your skin, especially if it doesn't absorb that fast. So I guess when I say this year is the year of the balm, possibly, maybe it's the year of getting experimental with balms. So not only would you know, be selling your traditional balm, but also we'd all be working on a thinner balm or almost more liquidy or a milk consistency for the summertime that will soon be in. You know, so
David Millett was just commenting and saying somebody should make a balm with it with a SPF in it, and that'd be great. Except for the problem with using SPF is that when you do that, you have to go through FDA testing.
Exactly, well, and you have to have it go through extensive testing.
It's a drug, also. It's considered a drug. Oxide is what you'd be using, but yeah, that's why you don't see a lot of artisans doing sunblock or suntan lotion at the moment.
There's so many hoops to go through.
There is. What you could do is just not market it as such, but just use zinc oxide. And, you know, on the hush, people would know that you probably have like 8, 15. Coconut oil actually has a natural SPF of between 6 and 8.
Really?
So with that and some zinc oxide and maybe some shea butter or something else, you could, you know, it would be nice. I'm actually working on
maybe some titanium oxide, something like that.
Is it almond oil that has it, or coconut oil that has one, or carrot oil? Isn't it carrot oil that has like up to a possible 15? Yeah,
carrot oil is. There's so many of them that have natural SPFs in them that, when combined, and I bring this up only because well, you brought it up, but no, I was talking to someone yesterday, a bald man, and he was talking about making some of the SPFs for his head, for his dome, and so I went into it with him. But that's something I'd really like to see actually in the coming year. Stuff for bald guys. I don't know why, since I have hair. But
yes, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I can see that hair starting. Your hairline starting to go a little back there, Douglas. So you need to.
Oh, snap! You took the head off.
I shave it like that. I want some shape to it,
Very long widow's peak.
Anyways, we have guests. So tell us a little more about yourself, guys. Eric, you've been relatively quiet. Samantha, sit back for a second. I'm joking.
There's not really a whole lot else to tell. I mean, we're here to have fun.
Right on. The only reason why I ask is because there's people out there watching today that are going to the Big Shave, and so that's why we're doing this too, to kind of like give a little introductory, so they know you before they get there too, And I know last year there's a lot of like Navy guys were out there, a lot of military guys were.
It actually was,
yeah. It was really cool.
That kind of surprised me. I didn't know that there'd be as many as there was a lot of military guys, and a lot of military guys are involved.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's probably due to the fact that you have to shave.
Yeah, it's definitely a popular trend in the military in general, getting more popular every day.
Right.
That's awesome.
I've actually thought about either doing a tutorial or just creating a razor that's anti-reflective or something that could be used in the military, in the field, really. Because I mean, when you're out there, you have to use cartridges for the most part, from what I understand, right?
You don't have to, but then again, I'm in the Navy, so I don't know what it's like being in the field. Yeah. I'm out to sea. But yeah, I think for the most part, if you're in camp, you can use whatever you want. Right. But if you're downrange, your options are limited.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I gotta get my best friend to come talk to some of you guys, because my best friend's in the Navy, and he's such an asshole about the whole shaving thing. Like, he refuses. He refuses to hear me talk about it. He refuses to watch my videos. He just doesn't want to hear it because he doesn't grow a lot of facial hair, and he just thinks it's like it's a sin to like wet shave if you don't have a lot of facial hair. He's such an idiot. And I
it's not just about hair removal, man. It's about exfoliation and relaxation time.
That's what I try to tell him, but he just doesn't want to hear it. He's such a stubborn bastard that I gotta call him the troops for this, because he's an absolute dick about it.
Literally. Yeah, I guess what I'm talking about is from what I know of, like the Second World War and whatnot, with Gillette and some of their releases, non-reflective or darker colored blades and wrappers. But that, you're in combat there, so you got to keep everything camouflage or dark.
But when they're
I guess we're in a different place.
But when they're out and actually in combat, are they required to shave? Like if they're deployed out on the lines or something like that, would they actually be required to shave?
I guess it really depends on your commanding officer if he's going to enforce that or not. I mean, it depends how deep in you are.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of commanding officers are going to enforce it. So yeah, they're still going to be shaving out in the field.
Well, I mean, like if they're sent out like on a 48-hour mission or something like that.
Oh no.
Sure. Okay.
In that case, if you're out on patrol, you're out on mission, whatever, you're not going to have to shave in those 48, 72 hours.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. I'd hate to see a damn Navy SEAL have to stop off in the middle of something and have to shave. That's
exactly what I was thinking.
About it.
Oh, hang on, guys, I got to shave.
Yeah. Okay, I want to open some questions up to the folks in the galleries. Yes. Thank you for being patient with us, guys. Every now and then we forget. And if it's been echoey, I just realized now that I forgot to put on my headphones. I've been telling everyone else to wear their headphones, and I, the schmuck, forgot mine. So forgive me. Questions, folks.
Enemy still stropping.
Chemtech enemy still stropping. That's awesome.
So aside from your own products, guys, what's some of your favorite stuff to use aside from your own stuff?
So I'm a big Bear Stearns Man fan. I have a lot of his stuff. The most recent soap I got was Nuavia Blue from Panacrema, which is fantastic. It's expensive, but it is fantastic. Probably the best vegan soap I've used to date.
I'm more of a fragrance girl because I'm Asian. I only literally have to shave like once every 2 weeks. So I don't get to use any products really. And one pass and I'm done for like 2 weeks. So I'm more of just like the fragrance collector and good creams. Like I do like Soap Commanders, balms. Those are nice. I like them because they're more lotion-y consistency. I don't really have super dry skin except for when the weather is really bad here in Maryland, and it's not something I'm used to still. But right. I also try. No, I hope not to ever get used to it.
Okay, we have a question coming in from Zach Likes to Shave. He wants to know if you have any special ingredients you'll be adding to your new releases, such as rose clay, beer, tea from your previous formulas. I'd like that every soap was a bit tweaked. So will your formulations be different depending on the soap with your new releases? I think that's what he's asking.
So potentially, we do that kind of on a soap by soap basis. We just switched formulas over to our new improved formula, so we're still getting into a good groove with that before we start experimenting like we did with the previous base. We're looking into possibly doing wine as a liquid in one of the soaps we have coming up. We've experimented with clays. But I'm not sure. I don't think we really have a solid plan for spinning things up in the new base just yet.
I mean, I think you would know as good as us that every time you add something different, it changes how the soap reacts and how it works. One of the first times I ever did a beer soap that I didn't cool, I forgot. And I was overtired trying to get our shop reset. And I immediately dumped the Lion and realized I hadn't stuck it in the fridge like I normally did. And we heard a loud rumble. And the next thing I know, all of the lye beer shot up in the sky in our kitchen. And a big cloud of smoke, black smoke. And the whole thing actually literally landed right back in the container. But it was the scariest thing in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
It was like, and then it just blew up.
I did that with beeswax, adding beeswax to a soap. I was making a body soap one time, but it's the same thing. It gets super hot also. But yeah, volcanoes are no joke.
I think one time I tried to cold process a soap that was like 60% stearic, and I had soap on a stick within a matter of seconds. I actually still have the pot out in the backyard because we forgot about it because it was so hot. And then the spoon is still stuck in it.
Oh yeah.
4 months later, it's stuck in the pot. I figured it would shrink and then I could just pull it out. No, it's still stuck in the pot with the spoon still stuck in it in the backyard.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But people also don't understand sometimes it makes things look different. Like we get questions occasionally about drunken goat with white spots. And that's because of milk fats that saponify beforehand. So you have like milk soaps suspended within beer soap. So people are worried that it's mold, and soap doesn't really grow mold in it. It's not the right nature for it. The pH is not right. But
and that color wouldn't be mold anyways.
Exactly. But every time you add something different, it makes the soap look different. And if no one else has ever done it before, people are naturally wary that something is wrong with it.
Oh, tell me about it.
And so keeping things kind of simple makes that the questions and all the emails, like thinking that they got rotten soap. Yeah. We had somebody convinced that we had sent him a moldy soap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've been using it for a month. Like, I obviously didn't send you a soap moldy to begin with. But in cutting down with all the varied products, although it doesn't make it quite as exciting, it keeps things a little more consistent. So everyone can know what to expect.
Yep. No, it's true. Whenever you go out there on the edge, I mean, whenever you're the first penguin at anything, sometimes it's just not even worth it. You know, that's why I stopped being so adventurous with a lot of stuff because some of the stuff people were saying, just what people assume. It's just like, no, unless you're doing it and you're in it, no.
Yeah, it also fucks all your processes up, because you get into a groove, a real good procedure, a real good process, and then you throw yourself a curveball trying to be creative, and then all of a sudden, your old processes don't work anymore. You learn a bunch of things that just make it not worthwhile.
Sure. And if you've done one printing of your ingredient labels, how many do you want? How many you want to make for each different soap you have? So it's best to keep your one formulation or two formulations the most, and just change the fragrance or the essential oils you're using. And it's also easier for FDA tests or EU testing too, if it ever happens, they can test one soap instead of all of them, so for just down the line, that's why bigger companies only have like 5 cents. And they look at us like we're nuts.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know how you keep track of all yours. Like, I have a hard enough time with 6. I can't even imagine. How many do you have now?
Oh, we probably have close to 50. Yeah. I mean, it's really, you should see I have 2 cabinets for my perfuming, and we just have jars that go 4 rows back, 3 high, and just 2 metal like gun cabinets of just, always maturing colognes. And it's like hundreds at this point. And it's like, how many jars, like large jars I've bought for this? It's ridiculous. And it's really, it just sneaks up on you. It's like every time you go to the supermarket or something like that, you buy those big jars. And now at the end of like 2 years, I have so many. Unbelievable. But yeah, no, it is tough to keep up.
I'm sorry, a bunch of fragrances, and then you're like, when they finally come, you're like, why did I even buy this? Like, I don't even know. I know.
It's almost like they smell different in the sample containers, and you get the big one. It's like, what was I on when I smelled, but
or you buy 50 different of the same types, like variations of vanilla, to try to find the right one, and then you have like 25 of them that you just can't use.
Well, what else is interesting is a lot of those companies that you get your fragrances from, they're getting it from the same source. They just name it something different. So like, it can be difficult.
Well, and you're always going to have some variance with when you use natural products or natural fragrances. There's going to be some variance in how they're grown and how they're developed, environmental changes and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's essential, like essential oils or absolutes and whatnot. And I mean, pine alone, it can change from wherever it's being sourced from. Like a lot of times, the pine I use, and I've probably spoken this before, it has a natural lemony scent to it, and that's from Northern California. They have this. It's just the nature of that pine from there. But then you can get pine somewhere else, and there's no lemon in it at all. So people will accuse you of adding lemon to something. It's like no. It's where I'm sourcing this from. But they just unless you're doing it. But it's fascinating stuff. What, David?
Talking about all this fragrance stuff, has there been either a scent that you ended up releasing, or maybe something that's on the back shelf that just ended up being an absolute disaster at first? You were finally able to work with it. So just some type of scent.
Samantha's like, yeah.
Like 60% of the stuff we released in the first year.
Yeah. Oh, we got to ever surprise us with some of that?
There was a scent that we released, and a lot of people loved it, and it was called Cocoa Maya. It was like a spiced chocolate and when the base was coffee, and a lot of people loved it, and I loved it. I fought for it when we first started making our lineup. I was like, this has to be it. I created it, and after a few days of making it over and over, I started to actually feel sick every time I made it. So literally in between of stirring, I'd be going in the bathroom to barf.
Oh, really? You were vomiting?
Wow.
And after a point, I just couldn't make it anymore because I just couldn't stand even being around it, and it'd be in the house for days.
You are so like, you just hit the nail around that. There was a vendor out there that I was doing a custom soap for. I won't name any names, but it made me so sick. The first week I was like, I don't believe I agreed to this. And so that's why I never do custom scents or bespoke work. It's because you got to love what you're doing. You got to be able to breathe it in every day. Else, it's not worth it if you're making yourself sick.
It's been 6 months and we have a couple jars, like novelty ones. We try to keep at least one of everything we have now. And I smelled it the other day and I almost threw up. And it makes me so sad because people ask us to bring it back. And I'm like, I think I would literally need to shove something up my nose and leave it there for a few days for the scent to just be out of the house.
Yeah.
There are a few scents that I really love. And someone, Mantic, asked our favorite scent in the MLS line. My favorite is Cape Verde. And people are like, the label is purple because it was based on the island.
That was you.
That was me.
And you're like,
I was confused.
That one is my favorite because
Verde and it's purple
and bright.
Yeah, but it's Portuguese though, right? So it's Cape Verde.
Yes.
Well, it's based on Cape Verde, which is the
island,
Creole island, and it's lavender on that island. And so, looking at the scent description, I get it, but with the name, you're like, what the anyway.
I remember he and I both laughed when you wrote it that, and we're like, exactly.
It's throwing me off.
Leave it to Scott. Excellent.
Scott is like the sabotager. He hates Douglas's soap.
I don't hate Douglas's soap.
No, it's refreshing. That's why we keep him on the show. I'll bring him over one of these days.
an awkward question. It's gonna come from Scott because Scott likes to like. I think he secretly hates artists. So I think here for.
Okay, let's look at the gallery, guys. Let's check out some of these questions. I feel bad. Sorry, folks. I'm just gonna scroll back a little bit. Okay, Jam and G.I. James is with us. What you got, Scott? Do you find any?
Let's see. I see. Oh,
thanks for your explanation. I appreciate it. Oh, they want a good bourbon soap. Of course, yeah, that's G.I. James.
Bourbon tastes like or smells like, so it's not going to be us.
So Samantha, with that issue that you had with the Coco Maya, I guess more of a question for Eric. Eric, how experienced are you with making the soaps? Is there a situation where you'd be able to take over and possibly do some of that, or you just don't even mess with it?
Not a chance. If she couldn't make it anymore, we'd go out of business.
Nice.
He's definitely taken a lot of the scent blends. A lot of the new ones that came out are all him. So really? Since he uses soap so much more and fragrances so much more than I do, I leave that a lot to him. We agree what gets released, but he has a lot of the say or the ideas behind that lately. And I'm thankful of that because I have to do everything else, all the packing, the labeling, the soaping. So I take a little bit of the really hard part off my hand.
Yeah. And you do the designs as well, Eric? Is that what I'm done?
Yeah. I do all the label
Eric,
design.
what do you do?
I sit here and look pretty.
Yeah.
That's what he does. The most important part.
No, so
he's the financier.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's the tester. He's conceptual artist. Would you say that?
Sure. That sounds great. Sounds like an awesome bullshit title that I can.
Hey, you want bullshit? I got a BS in it. You know.
Yeah. So I do all the label design. I handle some customer service. I talk to people on Reddit, and that's about it.
Nice. How now, Samantha?
Are you still very active in Reddit?
What's that?
Yes.
Oh.
You're still very active in Reddit because I've always found Reddit to be the absolute devil,
No.
and I fucking hate it. I really do.
So let me tell you a story that might redeem Reddit a little bit. So we actually got started on Reddit. We were completely paycheck to paycheck, like as firmly paycheck to paycheck as you can get. Samantha was very confident that she could make a shave soap. So I spent every last penny I had, every last one, there weren't very many of them, to give us a shot at making shave soap. We put our 4 little jars of Drunken Goat on Reddit. They sold instantly, and that gave us enough money to keep going. And without Reddit's support, we wouldn't exist. Our product would not have taken off the way it did. So the community is very finicky. You have to earn your way into the community. If you don't earn it, they're going to reject you. That's just the way they are. And I have the utmost respect for the Reddit community because they made us what we are right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I blew up on Reddit as well, actually. And then I literally blew up on Reddit.
Yeah.
You sure did.
A little controversy doesn't hurt. Helps Guns N' Roses out.
Yeah. The dynamic of Reddit versus Facebook is very different.
Yeah.
I find that it takes a lot. The communities both are very tight knit, but they're both very, very different on how they embrace you or shun you, or how willing they are to forgive, and what kind of work you put into them. But I find that Facebook has so many more people. I find myself continually overwhelmed, both by the reception that we get, but also by the amount of loyalty or fierceness people are willing to face each other in these groups. Sometimes I just sit and watch. I'm scared to talk half the time because I don't want to make anyone upset.
The difference I noticed is like it has to do with being anonymous, where it's almost like us as humans, we're almost there. We need to evolve a little more before we can handle that kind of responsibility. Because it seems a lot of people feel like if they're hiding behind a name, they can say whatever the hell they want because they can. And it's like, no, you can still be nice. You know, I mean, like on Facebook, I don't see that as much because a lot of people, you're going by the pictures of their family on their Facebook. You know, they're more open. So that's the difference I see. They're less harsh, less mean-spirited. You know, it's like,
and on Facebook, you seem to get a lot more of the people that are, it's hobbies, you know, that they're in it for the enjoyment of the craft. Whereas you get people on Reddit and some of the other forums, and it becomes either it's their life or they're like super, super hardcore, and they'll rip your face off if you haven't paid your dues, or if you're, you know, you make, I don't know. It's just a very different environment, like Samantha was saying. You know, it's
two different animals.
Very different feel to it.
Yeah. My big issue always is I've always had my real profile connected to all my Facebook stuff. Any opinion that I give, it has my face connected to it. It has my real name connected to it. I don't hide behind anything. And just how I've seen people that attack people on a personal level, and when you don't have your face connected to it, it just seems like a very cowardly way to do things. And I think that's probably what bugs me the most. The words don't bother me. Go ahead and talk shit, but just the whole setup behind it. That you're really brave, bro. When you're probably 2,000 miles away and nobody
in your parents' basement.
Yeah,
that just always bugged me. I can't handle that well. That's just a real cowardly way to do things. And
I completely agree with that aspect of it. People can say something really mean or really intentionally hurtful, or they try to troll you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I look at certain things, and it's not even to us. Just in general, being an observer in just even different subreddits, not even the shave subreddits, just in general. The people can be exceptionally rude, and it blows my mind sometimes that people are willing to write.
Yeah.
The one thing about Facebook that I'm still trying to get used to as an artisan and a contributor is how much people want to be a part of your life. I've never had so many people like want to be, and then they're looking at your children's pictures and your school things, and they're going back to when you got married 6 years ago, and they're liking photos.
Yep.
Now people understand why I go by a stage name.
Well, I've had to, I have people send me friend requests like all the time. And maybe this is a good time to announce that, but I generally, unless I've interacted with you on a personal basis, like personal messages or something like that, I generally don't accept the friend requests on Facebook just because I'm a shaver, because I share pictures of my kids, and I do all that kind of private stuff, and I've had to come back and realize, you know what? If you want to follow what I'm doing in the shaving world, go like my Facebook page and follow me there. You know, but I try to keep my personal account personal.
See, I wonder if that's like a difference between being a shave personality versus being like an artisan. How much of a difference that is on how much you're willing or to have people be involved in your personal life. Because I feel to a degree as an artisan, especially if you want to be close to the community, you kind of lose some of that privacy because you want people to really know that you believe full-heartedly everything that you're doing, everything you're putting in.
You live and die by public opinion.
And it's a scary thing.
It is. It's very interesting. And to get back to Reddit for a second, this is something I've noticed recently on a certain forum on Reddit or subreddit is in the wiki. Their wiki is currently locked, and they have me in there as some type of the devil or something like that, or bad gear, which I've never sold bad gear. I'm pretty good at selling quality stuff at a great price.
I always told you were the devil.
Excellent customer service. But anyway, so I'm on this list, and it's locked. Yet they have a disclaimer saying publicly edited, and it's locked. It's been locked for 5 months, and there's one guy in there editing, and he's been editing up to the last 3 months. So it's like, it's counterfeit legit, and it's hypocritical. But that's all I have to say about that.
In terms of going back to what Samantha was saying, I think it's always going to just be a matter of personal preference. A lot of the artisans don't get involved real in depth with the Facebook groups because there is a lot of bad fallout that could happen to it. Mm-hmm. And even some YouTube personalities. Like I'm considered, I guess, a YouTube personality, and so is Scott. We don't have so much financially to gain, so we have a tendency to be a little bit more involved.
Yep.
And I'm just generally shameless. I kind of accept everybody. So it's always be a matter of personal preference and how much you want to share. I don't care. I accept damn near everybody. I'm not one of those people that's trying to sell me shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I think I've pretty much accepted everybody's, and I don't really have anything to hide. It's just really funny because we do have a Facebook for our business where we post anything new. And when people want to get like involved in your personal life, I find that kind of weird because I'm like, I don't know if I'd look up, a clothing designer that I like and follow his personal one. But far be it for me. I love, talking to people. I love meeting new people. It's just kind of weird that anyone would even care.
It's kind of weird when they start messaging you on your personal Facebook at midnight with customer service questions. Like, come on, dude, common sense.
Yeah.
And that happens, 5 nights a week?
Yeah. I think people, because you're willing to be their friend and put things out. And I do try to answer. But once 9:00 rolls around, I have very little personal time with my family. I'd like to have the hour or so before bed to do what I want and not work stuff. Because I'm literally working from 6 to 9 almost every day, family and work. So to have that, I'm just like, I want to be a fan, not a stalker.
I just don't feel bad about not commenting because I have an issue. Like my buddy Zach over here that's in the peanut gallery, he has a tendency of messaging me at midnight. And sometimes I ignore his ass. I love him to death. He's a good buddy of mine. But damn it, I ignore his ass sometimes because I don't always want to talk to him at 12 o'clock at night. And don't feel bad about it, man. People just have to understand, and usually, and especially with the Facebook community, not for the most part, they don't hold super grudges unless you're an absolute asshole all the time, which I don't think you ever will be. But yeah, just don't feel bad ignoring it.
Yeah, David, see, you're a reasonable person though, so that makes sense to you. There's some people out there that are just totally not reasonable and will not understand that. And I will be answering emails from them at 3 a.m. sometimes. And if I don't, all hell will break loose,
Oh, luckily I'm not at your level. I can ignore them until 6 a.m. And when I find out that they're on the West Coast, I make sure to message them first thing at 6 a.m. so they can
Good for you. No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And hopefully they have their phone right at their bedside table and it goes off.
Vibrates. Yeah. Well, they're waiting for your call though. They're waiting for you. Okay.
No matter what you do, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. No, it's true. You can't leave the house.
It's true. James asked a good question. So there's the Rocket City Shave Meetup that's coming up the weekend or the March 19th down in Alabama. He was asking if you guys are going. But
you know what?
March 19th, no.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that's a great meetup too. The Huntsville meetups are awesome. Yeah. Huntsville is it's another planet. It literally is another planet. That's where all the rocket scientists were working on, the rocket. So the museum's there, all the NASA's there. It's something to see.
I'm so looking forward to it.
It was such a cool meetup.
G.I. James needs to get his ass over here to the Big Shave West. Stop worrying about other ones. He needs to get his ass over here.
Yeah, the Big Shave. Now, what are you guys expecting for the Big Shave West? I'm really excited to have you there.
Oh God.
We don't really know what to expect, right? So it's to us, we're treating it like it's a homecoming. We're from San Diego, born and raised. We've taken the long way around the world, and we're hoping that we make it back to the West Coast. So it's going to be great to be home. It's going to be great to be around West Coast people again, because East Coast people are completely different. No matter what anybody says, East Coast people are different.
Oh yeah, we are.
And that's all we're expecting. We're just expecting to feel like we're at home there, because it's going to feel like home turf to us.
Oh, I really hope you said you're 90% there. I really hope this does happen, because I'll buy some balloons for you guys and let them go as part of the homecoming.
Just a heads up with that. Big Shave West is a totally different animal than most of the meetups, man. This thing is
Are you trying to scare us or encourage us?
You guys are gonna feel.
Something you should be excited about, man. It's again, I've been to a lot of different of the smaller meetups or regular style meetups. This Big Shave West, man, is just different. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is gonna be wild. Can you see all my swag?
We'll know by the end of next week if we're gonna go or not. We're already looking at tickets. I'll be talking to my management about leave next week, so we'll know.
Nice. Well, have your people call my people, Eric, and we'll
Gotcha.
But while we're talking about that, I thought I would just announce everyone that's going to be there right now. So as of yet, April 23rd, the Big Shave West, free admission to the public, free admission to vendors too. So if you're a vendor watching and want to participate, contact us at thebigshavewest.com. But for vendors and artists that are attending, so far we have Micky Lee Soapworks. Say hi, guys. They're going to be there. Above the Tie, Nathan Clark, Colonel Conk, Da Vinci Brushes, Edwin Jagger, Feather Blades, G's of Hudson, Layrite Pomade, Local Gent, LA Shaving Company, Nate Straits, that's Nathan Zawada, he's going to be there. Obsessive Soap Perfectionist, I'm pretty sure he's out of England.
Yes, he is.
Razor Emporium, Razor Rock might be there as well. There's a question mark next to Joe's name, but it looks like he's going to be there. So Sharp Limited, hey David. St. James of London, Tiki Bar Soap, Nick from Tiki's going to be there. So I don't know if any of you caught the announcement the other day that Tiki is now a partnership with Amanda and Nick will be there. It'll be his little introduction into the shave world. So I'm going to take him under my wing and walk him around. But so Nick from Tiki will be there. WSP, Wet Shaving Products will be there. Zen Shave, The Shaving Shop. What else we got? The Stray Whisker. For personalities, we're going to have Con there. We're going to have Nathan Clark. We're going to have Ryan Stephen Green. We'll have Mantic. I see you out there, Mantic, somewhere. Matt Pasarczyk as well, and a few others. There's also the swag bag, which is pretty much a pre-orders. I see pre-ticket sales, but it's not tickets really, since it's free admission. But there's a swag bag that you could order, which is $49. It comes with a T-shirt, soap, samples, raffle tickets, lunch, drink tickets. There'll also be craft beer there, food, giveaways, straight razor shaves, and a whole lot more. So there's a lot going on there. It's huge. 3 rooms. Guys are going to really dig it.
That's going to be
excited
awesome
about this. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting. I think it's just going to be bigger than last year. Last year was great, but this year's going to be awesome. So back to the peanut gallery really quick for some last follow-up questions for you guys. Yeah, it sounds like a convention. It's interesting. It's kind of like a convention, but not really. It's a convention for the public, I guess you could say, more than like a convention for networking and salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
What hotels we're staying? I'm staying at the Marriott only because that's like 3 or 4 blocks down, and because I get like miles and points for the Marriott. That's my
I'm
little
staying
tip.
at my parents' house.
You're smarter than me. It's for any of you vendors and artisans out there, use your Marriott card to buy all your raw products with and build some points up for stuff for occasions such as this. So that's why I'm staying at the Marriott. James, how come out? What is this about? How come out I will be something about 4 roses. James keeps going on about, is that the bourbon?
I think that's the bourbon that he's talking about.
Okay. Is he currently drinking that?
I don't know.
David Mendoza is trying to figure out a way to respond to us.
I'm staying at the Desert Shaver Inn. Unfortunately, it's full.
How many rooms in the Desert Shaver Inn?
So I have a question for you, Doug, while we're on.
Sure.
How does it feel when you started out being one of the original artisans out here and being one of the first ones to really make it big, feeling like all the rest of us and all these new artisans that are literally popping out of the woodwork every 5 seconds?
Aha!
All the same sense. Like, how does it feel?
Hey, it's a proven fact that 2 out of every 3 wet shavers are also soap makers.
I it's been fun to watch. I come from way back. We had to figure out our own recipes, only because as a soaper, I studied soap making in college. I took two classes, semesters apart from each other, and that was for body soaps. That was cold process. So when it came to making shave soap, you really had to figure it out for yourself because no one was talking in the forums at that time. The only artisan soap makers out there were really, and I say artisan, there was like Mama Bears, And there was Mike's. Mike's was like the real artisan soap that you wanted at the time. There was a few others, but those are the big ones that I remember. And so when you got into it, you would initially think that you could possibly make a shave soap from cold processed soap. That doesn't work at all. Well, you just simply add clay to it, and suddenly it's a shave soap. So once you figured out that you needed, to up the stearic and use hot process, there was no resources out there. You had to come up with your own recipes, and there was a lot of trial and error. So you put all this time and energy into it, failing, then winning and winning, then failing again. So that a year later, suddenly someone sticks up 2 or 3 recipes up in the forums, and now everyone's making the same soap. Yeah. But these recipes back in the day, we would guard them. You would never put your recipe out there. I'm all for community, but you can't give everyone the keys to the castle. Especially when you work so hard at your craft. I get people asking me how to make, perfumes or colognes. Like every day they want recipes, and it's like, that took me a long time to put together. I can't just I'd love to help you out, but just take my credit card instead. There you go. So it's interesting to sit back and watch, but it's like anything else. It'll figure itself out. It'll self-correct. There are those that are going to come up with kick-ass recipes, and those that just won't. And it's just how it is. It's like anything else. What's the next thing? Shave soap is big the last 3 years. Next, it's going to be colognes and aftershaves. Next, it's going to be something else. So as long as you stay one step ahead, I guess. For me, I wake up in the morning and I have a new idea about something. I do it. So I think that's the only way I've been able to really survive. Otherwise, I would have gone down many times already. People definitely tried to take me down many times. But it's highly entertaining, and I encourage anyone to try it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, guys? A year into it.
So to me, okay, I'm trying to think of how I want to start this, right? So I'm going to start at a different.
I know it's tough. It's tough, right?
about 2 weeks ago, we got an email through our contact page on our website of a guy saying, "Hey, I want to get into trying out soap making for my own personal use. Can you send me your formula?"
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Are you for real? Because we don't use the formula that's on the forums.
Right.
Samantha came up with that herself. We're not doing the standard, whatever it is, stearic, coconut, glycerin, water, and lye that 90% of all the new artisans are doing. So to me, I don't know if Samantha agrees. I'm sure she does. I feel like if you are turning out,
she's an independent woman. She can speak for herself.
She don't need no man.
Except for to pay my bills at the end.
So I feel like we as artisans built a wall for ourselves. A lot of people are calling it a bubble that's about to burst. A lot of people are saying the market's going to go off a cliff. It's not a bubble. It's not a cliff. It's a wall. And we built it as soap makers by turning out all these products. The ones that are going to make it over the wall are the ones that are changing the game. The ones that are stepping their formulas up, the ones that are coming up with unique scents, better marketing. The ones that are going to stay on the wrong side of the wall are the ones that are using that same recipe that everybody else is using, the same off-the-shelf scents that everybody else is using, and the same tired packaging that they've been using for God knows how long. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to keep pushing our envelope and hopefully helping push the envelope of wet shaving as far as we can. And I hope that other soap makers get on board and do that too, because everybody else is just holding the market down.
Yeah. I mean, see, this is interesting. So the feelings you guys are having right now about these people using that recipe and whatnot are the feelings that I and a couple other early artisans had about melt and pour soaps. Like the melt and pour artisans would be like, oh, they're totally, they're selling a puck for $5. Like we can't compete with that. And people are looking at it like it's artisan as well. Like they don't, couldn't. But eventually it just gets so old at the end of the day that you just accept it for what it is. It's not going anywhere and it's not going to go away. And again, it figures itself out. What's that, David?
Douglas, with that though, I think you guys are also lucky though now that a lot of your guys' target demographic we're an intelligent bunch of individuals that understand the difference of melt and pour sellers and actual artisans that are making with all the fine oils and fats and all that stuff. You guys have an educated bunch of people. That's But there's a lot of us that know what the hell's going on and know why your soap is $15 and their soap is $5.
Yep.
Right. There's a lot of people that you'd be surprised, David. You'd be surprised. Because, I can disabuse someone of something on one forum or on one thread, and then it crops up on the other side over here, and I have to do it again. Then I have to run back to this one. So it's like, for all these intelligent people out there, there's a lot of like dumbasses as well that you got to deal with on a regular basis.
Well, one person to say something stupid, and like 5 people that don't know any better will jump on with it. But I think the people that have a complaint want to speak up more quickly than all the people that already know what they're talking about. So even though you'll see a thread, if you notice those threads, it's the same like 5 people talking nonsense.
Yep.
There's another 300 people that are just watching it unfold and just kind of laughing.
Well, that's the thing. Is that there's probably like 5 or 10 people that cause all this crap and shaved them, and it's like that's why you have to systematically find them and destroy them before they breed. But that's not going to happen. But it's fun to watch. At this point, the way I look at it is any type of noise and controversy that people make is awesome. It's great, and that's what creates curiosity and brings more people to your page. It's just that formulation. That's the formulation that all soap makers want. To tell you the truth, and Guns N' Roses. If you want controversy and success,
the way I look at it as a non-soap maker is that with the products that I use, I want something that's different. I want something that's new. It's like you and I were talking about or mentioning the other day in a thread, Douglas, the purple cow thing, where it's innovate or die kind of a mentality where you need to come up with something new that's my marketing professor used to say new, better, and different. New, different, better, whatever order he said it in. But it's got to be something you have to change it up. You have to change the status quo in order to really be able to make a difference and make a spot for yourself. The people that are doing the same things as others are just going to be second-rate business people, and they're not going to survive. In all honesty.
No, it's true. And we're in a unique place in history where we're really at the beginning of online businesses. We have Etsy to thank for a lot of that. And so I'll go back and I'll talk to like old business professors or people that took a business course here and there 10 years ago, and it's outdated. They're talking about something completely different. Hell, I think the 3 of us over here could write a book about online business now, and it's totally different. It's not the same. Old school marketing relied on like scarcity mindset, competition, and like boom, boom, boom. Our business is online. The world is our oyster. It's our audience, and so you got to treat it differently. And so it's interesting to look back at those old school marketing techniques, and they just don't work. And they don't apply over here. I don't know how are you guys finding it now that you're in it, and you got to get your name out there, and you got to sell stuff. You got to market yourself. How's that working out for you?
We're letting word of mouth do 90% of it. We don't really advertise at all. In the early going, we sponsored a couple or promoted a couple posts on Facebook. I think we did it twice.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Outside of that, we have not done any advertising. We participate. We participate on Reddit. We participate on Facebook. We're active on Instagram. Outside of that, we don't do any direct marketing.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Well, how does it feel as David, you and Scott, how does it feel to be the consumer end and also know that you guys have a voice as YouTube personalities and reviewers? Like with so many different choices nowadays, like how do you guys even choose besides what personally makes it in? Like, do you ever feel pressured by some of us artisans to do stuff? Have you ever been talked to try to do a post so they could get their name out there?
Yeah.
Scott gets his stuff for free.
I've been approached a lot of times by people asking me to do reviews of their soaps.
Yep.
But I've been lucky enough to never be put in that situation where they're asking for good reviews, though. They just ask me for a review, and I'll tell them, I'll do a review for you. I will use your stuff, and I'll tell you how I feel about it before I release a video. Mm-hmm. If you like what I have to say, then we'll go on, and I'll go ahead and post a video. If you'd rather me not release unfavorable information, then I won't release the video, but I won't give somebody a kiss-ass review just to make them feel good about things. That I won't do. And I've been lucky enough that nobody's been a real dick about it either. Nobody's been like, come on, hook it up, or none of that stuff. So it's been cool. And this whole question you just asked is pretty much the answer as to why people want to be your friend on Facebook. As the consumer, we feel a part of the product we're using. And even though we can't do it ourselves. We can't make the soaps ourselves. Because you guys listen to our feedback, because we have relationships with you guys, we feel a part of the process. Even if it's just in a little way, and it may be somewhat insignificant and maybe more significant than others, it makes us feel good about using a product that we feel somewhat a part of.
Yep.
I agree.
Absolutely. And I'm the same as David. I mean, I've been approached by numerous people to test out a soap, and usually it's just for feedback, and it's, hey, I've got this new formula, I've got this new scent. Would you mind giving me some feedback on it? And I'll do that. And then if I think that it's video worthy, then I'll offer and say, hey, I think this product is really great. Would you like me to just do a quick video for you as kind of a return for the courtesy of asking me to, or sending me a product and asking for my feedback? I'd love to do a video for you, because I actually enjoy doing the videos as well. So
my whole thing was, because I started off with reviews. I started off with my blog, How to Grow a Mustache, and I was reviewing Artisan soaps and whatnot, which is great. That was actually like 4 years of college compressed into 6 months, because I got to review all these other soaps. I was taking the temperature of the water I was using, trying all different types of water, really experimenting with it. And I learned a lot about soap just from that end. But what I was taught to do by just paying attention to what Mantic was doing and listening to Leisure Guy is buying the soap that I was about to review rather than taking it for free. That way I didn't feel obligated to give it whether it was conscious or subconscious, I didn't feel the obligation wasn't there to give it a higher praise than what it deserved. And also there's more to a review than just the scent of the soap and performance. There's also the website. Was it easy to navigate? How was the service? How was the customer service? If I had to call them or get in touch with them, with responsive, the whole experience is what you should be reviewing as a reviewer, aside from just the scent out of the, off the top of the puck. Yep. There's a whole experience, and you don't get that when you get it for free. But so that's what I always strive for as a reviewer, just to keep it real. And I have to thank Mantic for that, and Leisure Guy.
Let's see. I think our first time ever when we are aware that it's a reviewer, occasionally we just throw in samples of things, either upcoming things or current things, just another product we think that the person might like based on what they do. If we have a sample around, we don't do it based on like this. We used to do like every few, we just throw one in. So people aren't expecting free things and they're not buying with the intent to get something, their palms greased. But we did make a habit early on. If we knew a video reviewer was ordering from us, like Mantic included, we did not include a sample. So they did not think that we were trying to woo them. Like, oh, usually we put a sample in with this because he ordered so many things. Do not put one in because it's Mantic. Don't do that, because we don't want him thinking that we're trying to win him over.
Just about everybody gets free samples unless you're a Leisure Guy, Mantic, Charky. If you're doing video reviews or written reviews, sorry guys.
Nick shaves.
Nope.
And you've met all these guys pretty much now, right?
No, actually, we met Nick, but we met Charky. Yeah. But outside of that, we haven't met too many of the other guys that do the video reviews.
What about New York? Was Anthony Esposito there or any of those guys?
No, we did meet Esposito in Boston.
Okay. Yeah, Anthony was in
Boston. That's right. Okay.
But he kind of kept to himself that night. I think he might have been under the weather or something.
Well, we got together the night before, so if that tells you anything. Sorry about that. No, he's not a drinker. We get some questions here. Oh, this is a good one actually. Thank you, Stephen Davidson, for this. Strop Shop. We all just found out about this last week. What are your thoughts on this, guys? What just transpired with the Strop Shop? I'll take it from Samantha and Eric first. What do you guys think?
So this was an interesting one because, I've always had opinions on Strop Shop, right? Their LE formula soap is fantastic. Why they didn't just move all their soaps to their LE formula, I don't know. Their regular formula was okay, but in my opinion, it was just okay. Their scents were pretty much all off the shelf, which is fine if you put it in the right soap base. And if you say that, if you're not trying to claim that you made it yourself, which they weren't. Apparently they had a spotty track record with customer service. I was not aware of that until I started seeing the reports that they were going out of business. So
I saw that too.
That was kind of a surprise to me. But I don't know. It's sad to see him go because I thought their LE soap was fantastic. But at the same time, with the way that the market's going, and if their customer service really was not very good, like I said earlier, you live and die by your customer's opinion, and people are they're gonna vote with their wallets.
Yeah, your customer's opinion based on your customer service, I guess.
Right.
I'd say more it's your customer service, and it's your product that you live and die by, because some customers really aren't customers at all. You know,
right.
Not to correct you, but that's just that's what I hear.
No. We completely agree. Customer service is king besides cash when it comes down to everything. And doing the best, there's only so much you can do, though. I mean, besides flying across country, hand delivering them on a golden platter.
Like, working on it, though. I'm working on that drone.
I'm sure you would. You would fly in a jetpack if you could.
I so want to.
But it's
I think he said that he's gonna come to the Big Shave West wearing some fake ass tinfoil fucking.
He's gonna be out front in the duck pond with the water jetpack shooting across with fireworks and everything.
France listening.
Hey guys, I do have a question. I've seen a couple times pop up somebody talking about a peanut butter soap. Is that just a troll? I've seen it like 3 times pop up, but something about a peanut butter soap.
Jelly soap.
Peanut butter soap with jelly aftershave. It's already available in your local supermarket. Go pick it up. Micky Soapworks.
It's organic, all natural.
Oh my god!
You might see it called Smuckers.
It's called Smucker. I thought it was
Mother Smucker.
Oh
wait, that's from Razor Rock. Scott, what do you think about Strop Shop, though?
I've actually never used any of their products. I don't really have much to weigh in on that, unfortunately. I kind of wish I had before they decided to close up shop. But
have you tried any of theirs, David?
I have tried their stuff, and the soap was okay. I wouldn't put it on the upper echelon of Artisan soap, so definitely wouldn't do that. But it was a solid soap. I didn't have any issues using it. The scents didn't wow me. They were often really light. I just feel bad, unfortunately, because I like to see people succeed. Mm-hmm. And I had no relationship with the Strop Shop owners. I don't even know their name, but I wish everybody the best. I do genuinely hope they will succeed. It's unfortunate that they're closing down. Now, if they were assholes to customers, then shame on them. I didn't have no dealings with them. But just, whatever works for them. Their soaps weren't great to me. They weren't bad, but it's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over.
Yep.
Maggard sold out. Yeah.
We're all reading questions right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a weird dynamic because initially, unless you make it more complicated, soaps in and of itself, you don't have too much upfront costs unless you try to grow too quickly. Mm-hmm. But it is a scary thing depending on. I think they had a storefront.
They had a storefront.
And they had like an actual crew, which I'm not very familiar with, obviously. But
they did have a crew. They had a board. They had a board.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not even going to get into it, but yeah, I know the Strop Shop.
And I just can't imagine that, like this is a very fast growing hobby, and there's pretty much room for everybody. If you find the right niche and you give a quality product, there will be long-term success for the people. But at the same time, I think too many people depend on this to pay everything right off the bat.
Yeah,
and they try so hard
when you're small
to take all the market, to undersell all the rest of us when the profit margin's short, but trying to take every bit of business they can. So just try to fill every news out there, every aftershave, every pomade, every soap, and it's just, I think it's too early and too unstable to be depending your whole family's income on something like this and without doing the research for it. And it's still so new. And it makes me worried sometimes when I see people growing what I feel is too fast and putting too much stock that they're going to become an overnight success. It makes me worried for them. This is not something that we plan to just live entirely on. This is supplemental, and we try to put the best we can out. But at the same time, I know well enough that it's still too new to be sitting here trying to make a mortgage off of this and pay for your kids' school books. And it scares me when I see people who put their whole everything, their whole family and everything on the line for this. I don't know how much Strop Shop put into theirs, but to see that they had workers and they had a storefront, it must have been quite a bit, and that it makes me feel bad for them.
Well, I think you answered it in the beginning when you the cost of entry is so low for this that you're getting people that have never taken a business class in their life. You're getting people that have never, they've always worked for people. They don't understand the other end of it. And so that's where a lot of mistakes are being made, I think. Scott.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, when you're an entrepreneur, and especially an entrepreneur in a niche market, you have to plan on growing organically. You can't try to invest yourself into becoming big. There's only so much room for you to grow organically. And so if they did, I don't know how long they were around. I don't know how they ran their business. I mean, if I was able to look at it as a case study kind of a thing, sure, be able to figure it out. But it's you have to in a niche market, you have to be so careful about how you grow and how you grow your business. So.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say what's up to my boy Uncle W. This is his first time joining us.
Eric.
On the show. Yeah, my boy right there, Eric. Thanks for joining us, homie. I'm just happy that fool's
Uncle W.
He's the W.
Is David cutting out for anyone else, or is that just
a little bit?
Yeah,
here and there. I just
probably because I'm moving around.
No big deal. Okay, folks, we're winding down. We're in the last 8 minutes of the show. If anyone has any questions, please put them out right now.
the audio is
racist.
It really is, bro. I'm ice skating uphill right here, man.
That was pretty racist.
It's the Cali thing. It cuts out when David's there.
Questions, guys. Awesome. Questions for Micky Lee Soapworks.
Someone wants to know the difference between absolutes and essentials.
What was that?
Someone wants to know the difference between absolutes and essentials.
Well, the difference is absolutes are more, as the name would almost imply, is a more concentrated version of the biomatter of the plant or the aromatics extracted from the plants. Does that make sense? Would you agree with that? Okay.
One's more expensive than the other two.
Oh my God! Let's talk about rose absolute. Jeez. Yes. Yeah. Tobacco absolute. Love the stuff, but man, I get like 1 gram. It's like $150. It's ridiculous. But yeah, and that's because the process it takes to to make an absolute. I just started making my own essential oils and hydrosols now, distilling them. And I can only imagine doing absolutes eventually. Ideally, that's what I would like to do. I'd save a hell of a lot of money, but it is a process.
How long does that even take? I haven't even begun to try doing that kind of stuff. Like our aftershaves, we steep all of our things we actually buy, witch hazel and all that. And it takes a minimum of 4 weeks. We like to push it 6 before we even add fragrances and everything and let it sit. So there's the wait time. So I can't even imagine trying to do what you're doing.
Well, it's faster. It's definitely faster pulling an essential oil out of a plant or a couple of hours, and creating hydrosols as well. But yeah, when you're steeping or maturing a perfume, that's going to take a while, especially the witch hazel as well. Witch hazel is such an interesting thing. I remember I researched witch hazel a couple of years back, and I was calling all around because witch hazel is such an amazing plant. For one, it's pretty much was a gift from the Native Americans to us. It's a cure-all for everything. It's amazing. It's one of the only plants that we've done so much scientific research on because it goes back hundreds of years and using it for everything. So there's a lot of research that's done on the plant. And with that, I was curious to know what the Native American name for witch hazel was from an article I was writing. And none of these places, Thayer's, I called Thayer's, I called a couple of the other ones, and no one had the answer. They kept giving me the Latin. but they didn't have the Native American, which I thought was a shame and said a lot about our culture. But eventually I got it. A lot of research, finally through the Library of Congress, I got a few names from different tribes, but there wasn't one solid name. I guess there wouldn't be. But and it's in that article. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But yeah, the information was not out there. It was amazing. It was amazing.
There we go. Mantic just shared a link.
Oh.
Buffalo Head Soap said that one of the big differences is one is vodka and the other one's Red Bull.
It's Bull. That's the difference. Red is very key word. Oh, very good show. That's nice.
I'm horrible at reading the questions. Well, we got one last question. It looks like, what's your favorite scent of all your scents? And I think Mantic asked this earlier as well, guys.
Well, which was your favorite one to make? Not necessarily your favorite one to use. Could be different.
Well, I think Mantic asked, "What's your favorite one?" Let's answer them both. So we have a 2-part question here. What's your favorite one to make, and what's your favorite scent? I can only imagine them being the same, right? I mean, what you got, guys?
I think the most difficult would to make.
No, not what's the most difficult. What's your favorite?
My favorite to make. It's kind of a toss-up. I think Cape Verde, but I also kind of like Grand Havana. I like the way those smell and how they last around. I think the most pain in the butt one is anything citrus because they have such a low flash point. For people who don't understand flash points, it's the point in which the Sentinel, it burns off. So you have to work below that if you want your soap to retain it. And I think that's sometimes where new soapers don't recognize or don't know what those temperatures on the soap even mean. And that's why some people think like, oh, their scents are so light. Maybe it was really strong when it went in because it was burning out as they were putting it in the jars. But I think the biggest pain in the butt one would be the Colonia because the flash point's like close to 100. So you have to work below that. So it's almost too thick. But I love the way it smells, and it just doesn't last that long, and it's such a pain. You wait a few minutes too long, and you suddenly have a whole pot to shave off of for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the comment. B. Ellingsworth, flashpoint, the point at which my pants fall down.
The coat flies open. But interesting that you brought up citrus, because citrus, as a top note too, in a cologne or an aftershave, it's the first one to burn off your skin too. It only lasts so long. So there's a correlation there. Any last questions, guys, besides the perverts out there in the gallery? Perverts in the peanut gallery. Just watch the old
Just watched an old episode for an hour before I realized that.
I hope it was the Halloween episode. Yeah.
Well, how about you, Doug? Even though it's not for you, what is your favorite scent right now to make? Yes, your favorite scent.
Alfie.
I thought you'd never ask.
Yay!
What are you letting us know? I think I want to guess what it is.
Wow. Hey, I got a question. Didn't Micky Lee Soapworks do that same thing last year?
What is that?
We did a sex wax soap last year.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, label was almost identical.
What was the scent? Well, yeah, the sex wax. What was this?
It was primarily coconut.
Okay, see, this is based on the original sex wax, which was strawberry. A lot of people don't know that. This is strawberry and oud. So strawberry and oud, big shade.
Strawberry and oud.
But yeah, no, this stuff has been awesome. I've been using it the last few days in the shower. I fall in love with a different scent each week, and that's why you keep seeing new stuff. Like last week, it was oud spice. You can tell I'm kind of on an oud kick right now, but the strawberry. I didn't realize you guys did that. That's really cool. Do you still have any, Eric?
No, it was actually.
I was going to say if you sent me one, I would give you a killer review.
No, it was a custom request. We normally don't do customs, but the guy that asked for it was a junior Air Force member. So we hooked him up with that, and we just sold the rest off. But our current labels are actually based off of the same label that we did for the sex wax. So
very cool. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know that at all. Since it's a surf theme, as you can see, it's Endless Summer.
Yes,
basing that on. So I thought, what could be better than a sex wax label? And I've been getting a lot of requests.
West, it rained. Funny enough, it rained at the Big Shave West last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? It'll be lots of sun. But yeah, so that's my favorite one right now, Samantha. But as with anything else, and I'm sure it's the same thing with you, it changes from week to week or from scent to scent, you know.
How about your most difficult?
My most difficult, well, there's some scents that only work in aftershaves for me, like Alphine will only ever work in an aftershave at this moment, only because it's so expensive to recreate in a soap. Most difficult, Sangre de Drago is pretty difficult. There's just so many ingredients to that. It's ridiculous.
I love that soap, baby.
Yeah, and David loves it, so I can't stop making it. But I have a question. I have a question for you though. Desensitized. Do you find that the first hour is when you need to do all your mixing, when you need to use your nose still, because by the end of the day it's just gone?
Yeah, I have a problem with when you first add it in, it's like the most intense smell, even if you're working below flash points. Yeah. And then as you're scooping it, suddenly you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I can't smell anything. I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. What just happened? Yeah. I'll have people come around and be like, it smells great. I'm like, I can't smell the fucking thing.
Know. The UPS guy will show up and be like, whoa, you know, like he's like wafting through like, you know, the Play-Doh Fun Factory. And it's like, I can't smell anything anymore, especially when I was still operating out of my house. Like it'd be filled with menthol and I wouldn't even be smelling it. But people downstairs would be like, oh God, you know, like tell us when you're going to do that.
Yeah, we order the same from the same sushi place every Friday. It's Sushi Friday in our house.
Nice.
And our sushi guys will always be like, oh, it smells so good in here. And we'll like give them as an extra tip besides cash is we throw them a bar of soap or soap or even our UPS guys. And I'm like, really, I can't even smell anything. And I did it at like 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. I'll leave the house and come back in and I still can't smell anything. I'm like, the gas station. Smelling trash on our street.
Yeah, no, it's true. I go to the gas station and the girls like behind the counter like, you smell like an incense store. And it's like, I can't smell anything. You know, it's I'm wearing it.
I can imagine that because I get smelled after just smelling my own soap collection, like after 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I can imagine what that's like.
It's a real thing.
Do you have people like that too, David and Scott, where you forget what it smells like because you're wearing it, and someone will come to you and go, "You smell so good," and you're like, "I don't even remember what the f I'm wearing."
I don't even remember. I shaved last night. I don't remember what I used. Yep.
It's a weird situation for me because I work at a high school, so I'll have random teenage boys tell me I smell good. I'm like, Christ.
You have all the teenage boys sniffing you. You're like, hey man, you smell
good. .com.
Yeah, I coach football. So I get some weird comments. And I'm like, Jesus, this is really weird.
Have you guys ever had one that smelled that everyone's like, oh God, please don't ever use that again? Like, do you have with your wife, David? Do you ever have that problem?
Bay rum is not allowed in my home. My wife cannot stand bay rum. I'm not a big fan of it either, so it works out well. But she cannot stand bay rum. She hates it. Not allowed in this house. Nope.
That's really sad.
It is.
That's like
really
sad.
I love bay rum, so that's like for me in my house. It's tobacco. I love tobacco, but my wife is not a fan.
I like tobacco,
and that scent lasts forever, and so
I like it more on the puck. More on the soap though, Scott, than actually in the aftershave or the cologne. The aftershave it's a different scent to me. It's more potent, obviously, but on the puck, I like it. It's classy, but it can be tough to wrap your nose around when it's just in the air, I think.
Yeah.
Well, how about between you and Francis, Doug? Is there a certain scent that you guys kind of, you kind of do a lot for what the community asks, but is there some sense where people ask you and you're just like, no, I can't. I just won't.
You know, it's honestly, I kind of, this year I've made a lot of resolutions of trying to, I'm trying to expose myself to more things that I normally wouldn't outside of my comfort zone. And patchouli has been the last couple months I've been really getting into, but for years, like that was a no. Like that smelled like dirt to me. It smelled like festival vibe, like Burning Man come to life. I don't know. Like it was not for me. But now I'm trying.
Tabula rasa.
Tabula rasa?
Yeah, was it tabula rasa?
Tabula rasa is a very weird soap. That's like space ice cream.
It's light too. It's like really light in the jar. But I like tabula rasa.
Sloan and space ice cream had a baby. Like I don't even know how to like touch it or use it. And those jars are so weird.
It's true. It does look like space, and I love space ice cream. But tabula rasa.
There's one that that Irina Marchu makes that's like straight patchouli, and from what I understand, you smell like a freeze-dried hippie.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's named after Ashbury Street.
It's just dirty ass. It's just dirty ass, dude, completely. Patchouli by itself, that tabula rasa, that's why I mentioned it. It just smells like dirty ass. It's just horrible.
Okay, so we're all in agreement then. Well, I'm trying to like get into it more now, or at least use it more as like a mid note. Where in the past I've used it only in the base and just as one key player in the whole scent. But now I'm trying to isolate it more and embrace it, and I kind of am. As is Fran. Fran was also bothered by patchouli.
I like it in stuff. Don't get me wrong. In stuff, patchouli is great. But it's just by itself, it's fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, like
it can be bitter. You know, it's got this bitterness to it. Very cloying. I think it's genetics, Dave. I think it's just like some people absolutely love that smell, and I just can't get behind it. You know,
it is. Everybody's nose is different. You know, so like David loves sandalwood, and it just doesn't do it for me. You know, I don't mind it as a background note, but it can't be the primary scent for me. Well, you can't stand bay rum, man. So
let's do a bay rum patchouli sandalwood mix.
Oh gosh,
for the round table.
No thanks. I can't decide we use patchouli occasionally, but I still can't decide in and of itself if it smells really stinky or it smells really dirty. It like varies between the two. Like, does it smell like it's dying, or does it smell like it came out of the ground? Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
To me, it's just straight up like dirt. It's very much like dirt. So if that's what you're going for,
it comes out more musky. Like it smells like like an old.
Your face says it all. It smells like.
Well, just whenever I hear scent names and mixtures and stuff, I always start coming up with soap names for something like that. And so, like a bay rum, patchouli, and sandalwood mix would have to be like Drunken Sailor or something like that. You know, like it'd
just drunk.
Yeah, or drunk, or like the one we were discussing. What's that?
Does Eric ever smell like that?
You know what? So there's a fragrance from Zerjoff called Richwood. That is Uncle W. He knows what I'm talking about. So sandalwood, patchouli, and it is the most intense fragrance I have ever worn. I work in the office of a 3-star general. I'm a communications manager. I wore this stuff to work one day, and it was a huge mistake.
He thought a protest was going on outside.
I couldn't smell it by the time I got to work, but everybody in my office was like, Jesus Christ, what is that smell?
Where are the hippies?
I knew it was me, but I wasn't going to claim it. So I'm just sitting at my desk with my head down, like hoping nobody notices that it's me. But that's it. That's the Drunken Sailor right there.
Just when you go to the restroom, you start washing it off your face.
Yep.
Tie-dye.
There you go.
That's the smell of Eric's demotion to seaman. It is now the person, or soon to be the person. There's no more man in the military, at least in the Navy.
Yeah, they're getting rid of that.
Buffalo Head says it smells like a diaper full of Indian food.
Oh God, I don't even want to.
No, that'd have more clove in it.
It needs a little cumin too.
Yeah, little cumin, little curry.
So this is where we find ourselves now here in the wet.
This is what happens when we go overtime.
Yeah. You know, back in the day before we started doing Blab, we were on G+, and we had a green room, so it was more behind the scenes. We weren't live and everyone could watch us, and we'd usually get this out of our system then. So I'm sorry to the gallery. We got people. Yeah, guys, you're getting it. Excellent. Well, I think we need to stop it. It's been a wild episode, and I really, really appreciate you guys like hanging out with us today and doing this. And I can't wait to see you at the Big Shave West. I know you're going to be there. You better be there because I'm buying balloons regardless. I do like balloons.
Real quick note: look at how many likes Micky Lee's gotten. I think this is a record.
I can attribute that to one person. Actually,
never mind.
Hi, Mom. That's really cool.
11,000. That's awesome.
Well, we'll definitely get you guys back on after, like in like 6 months from now. See where you're at, what's new, what's going on, because it's been a lot of fun. Samantha, it's great having another soap maker on as well. I'm not used to them turning the questions around on me, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
This is one of the few times that we get to actually talk without having too much more commentary.
Yeah, we didn't really get to talk that much at the meetup, did we?
No.
The big shave is where it's all going to come together. We'll be collaborating after that. Right on. So thank you all for joining us today for another scorching episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable.
G.I. James.
I think great. Thank you guys in the gallery. People in the gallery, you're really what make this show happen. You are the blood of the show. Your questions and your comedy that really egg us on. So thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you next week in episode 36 of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. And I believe Razor Emporium will be joining us then. So thanks for all. And we'll see you next week.
Raider Nation, James. No Bronco.
Raider Nation.